Hola, buenos días. Soy Nico. And today we're here to finish off another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes. As you can tell, I am back home in Houston, Texas, and I will soon be unavailable for a solid week. So I'm going to try to bulk record and get you your content out so that you guys have something coming out while I'm gone. But before that, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, and to be a part of the live streams where we have a multifaceted panel where we discuss various topics depending on the week. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. Now, on to last week's comment. I'm too old for this, and that's exactly how I felt trying to keep up with these people because, like I said, I have never tuned into Raymonte, Malik, Davey in particular. If anything, I asked my friend who is on TikTok, what do they do? And he was like, they live. I'm like, what does that even mean? So lifestyle vlogs where they just record what they do in their day-to-day. So I'm too old for this. But now we can get on to the actual video. So today we're going to be talking about Porfi Maximus and Fitness Papi. Now, what I'm about to say will be very triggering to those who have suffered through toxic situations that have turned volatile, but I wanted to give you this heads up before we went there for the sole fact that I believe Porfi Maximus with the accusations he's coming with, and I'll explain so shortly. So basically, Porfi Maximus made a tweet out of the blue, no one saw it coming, where he basically said he is deleting all the content that he has with his ex-boyfriend, Fitness Papi, for the sole fact that he does not want to be tethered to him and his toxic ways going forward with his life. He said that it progressively got worse from threats to physical to the threatening a revenge pee because once in a bottoming scene, he had an accident that he taped and he's threatening to leak it. But it goes further than just that. We're going to get into the details, but I want to say why I believe Porfi for a specific reason before we get lost in his story. Essentially, last year, I had to double check. I uploaded private tea to Patreon, which I tend to do when it's a performer that comes forward and they don't really have any evidence or they don't really have any backing, like witnesses. Basically, Bayrab, Fitness Papi's ex-boyfriend, came forward last year basically saying that Fitness Papi was toxic and abusive and that when they broke up, Fitness Papi sent all of his super happy adult fun time shaft imagery and videos to his family and called him a diseased whore. He then retorted with, he called me that and tried to expose me to my family when he's the one that came back from Miami with chlamydia and monkeypox. And then he posted the picture of Fitness Papi having monkeypox across his face. Girl, I know I covered that tea like a year ago. And from there, I was like, okay, if this is true, he is clearly toxic. But from what Porfi Maximus is saying, it's essentially checking out for the sole fact that he said he was consistently cheating on him. He was consistently having affairs, including said ex-boyfriend, and that he also was consistently staying on a lookout for a new partner. That's complicated in and of itself for the sole fact that they do have an OnlyFans relationship where they basically collaborate separately, sometimes together, but for the most part, they do their own thing, but they're still an item. So being told that even though he's supposedly just working, he's still consistently on the prowl has to be unnerving, especially since Fitness Papi is the more popular performer, just like in the dynamic with Bayrab when I talked about it in that private video. I don't want to go too deep into it. If you want it, it's on Patreon. I basically talked about how when the couple begins an OnlyFans debut, and one partner tends to be more popular than the other, they're going to get more attention, they're going to get more clout and money. It usually causes a rift because it changes their power dynamic in their relationship. It goes from we're partners doing a business venture to we're partners, but I feel like I'm carrying you so I can treat you however I want. Especially because Fitness Papi, he is a very large and muscular and beefy man. If you have not seen him and Porfi Maximus standing side by side, that boy is like 3/4 his height. He's not that tall, if I'm being quite honest. So the fact that he said that while they were in Europe, Fitness Papi went into a rage when they got into a disagreement in the hotel room, that he angrily grabbed him by the back of the neck like a dog and dragged him outside of the hotel and tossed him out and said, figure it out. Porfi said that he actually had to buy a return ticket home immediately because there was no way he could financially take care of this trip on his own when it was agreed upon to be the both of them. The relationship continued to go on as Porfi tried to work through the issues, as he then said at the beginning of the year, Fitness Papi randomly broke up with him and moved to Miami without a warning's notice. Did not give him a heads up, did not let him know what was happening, just abandoned him. But 3 months later, he came back with his tail between his legs, making excuses and manipulating Porfi's feelings for him to take him back, and unfortunately he did. But from there, the cycle continued to repeat until it hit a boiling point where Fitness Papi had begun to finally directly attack him via slapping him around and breaking his objects, which caused him to beg to leave the apartment. He said, "I'm done with this. I want to go. Just let me leave. Just let me leave." And Fitness Papi kept him confined in the apartment until he managed to finally slink away and get to his car. And even then, Fitness Papi followed him to his car and continued to berate and threaten him, allegedly by the sources of Porfi Maximus. It was then that Porfi said that there were faults in their relationship on both accords, but he knows that he deserves better than that. He loves himself more than to continue to take this abuse in silence. So first and foremost, I want to send out a heartfelt message to Porfi. You do deserve love. You do deserve better. Physical violence, verbal violence, romantic, mental, none of that is encompassed in love. No one should be putting their hands on you. No one should be berating you. You should feel safe in your relationship more than just emotionally. You should feel physically safe while in the presence of your partner. So from what Bayrab said, all the way down to what Porfi said, which the timelines tend to line up, I'm going to believe their experiences of what they're saying about Fitness Papi. I want your opinions. How do you feel about this? If both of his exes have come forward and said that they faced some form of manipulation, torment, and abuse from him, do you think that is grounded in who he is? Because honestly, I don't really know a lot about Fitness Papi. I've never met him. Heck, I've never even met Porfi. I've seen him in passing at bars and stuff, but someone that physically large tormenting and attacking his much smaller partners, it's not unheard of. But with that, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all. Now that we have two stories from his two recent past boyfriends who were public, so he can't really deny his involvement with them, how do you feel about the situation? Do you believe Bayrab and Porfi, where they say that he purposely targeted their families and he purposely tried to attack them and purposely tried to demean them? Because Bayrab even said at the ending of his statement, Porfi, keep him away from your family because he's a dangerous man. How do you feel about all these accusations coming forward about so many performers as of late? Because like Cat Williams said, these big dick deviants will be dealt with in the age of 2025, in the words of Lovely T. So I'm definitely hoping safety and a joyous future for the both of them, because both of them deserve it. And with that, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Ooh. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's third eye tier subscribers, Dulce Vita and Catoost. Okay, interesting name. But thank you to everyone who supports the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. And this week's live stream will be unfortunately canceled because I will be unavailable being with my family. That's why we had two sets of live streams this last week. But I will be awaiting the next one, and I will see you guys next time.